quick recap of what we have seen in the previous classes. A class is a blueprint for the objects, and the class describes how to make an object. So we saw that from the class, from a single class, we can make many objects, or we can create many objects. And a class will be having class variables as well as the object variables, and also it will be having certain instance methods as well as some class methods and some static methods. And class will be having one special method which is called as an init method. And the name of the class is generally, okay, so whenever we discuss about the naming convention of the class in Java or in object oriented programming paradigms, we say that the class name should start with the capital letter. For example, box, this letter should be capital letter. In case if the name of the method is area, so generally the name of the methods will be all in lowercase. So this is not a rule like, but it is a programming convention we generally try to adopt. So names of the class should be given in camel case. Camel case means that the every first letter of every word will be in capital letters. In case if I'm saying box area, so then box, and if the A in the area will be capital. So this kind of convention is called as the camel case convention. We generally use the capital camel case convention for naming the class. Variables are those variables that are common across all the objects. I gave you an example of the name of the college. So the name of the college is common across all the objects. So we say that we represent such kind of variables as the class variables. Or else, for example, if you are taking a bank example, a bank class. In the bank class, each and every customer is an object, and the customer will have his or her own bank account number and name that is independent to each and every object. Those variables are different from object to object, but the name of the bank is common across all the customers. So such kind of variables can be represented using the class variables. And where in which part of the class you will be declaring the class variables is that as soon as you give the class definition, class, and then the class name, inside that whatever variables you declare, those will become the class variables. Now coming to the object variables, these are owned by the object. As I already told you, the customer name, customer ID, customer account number, okay, or customer balance. The balance of two different customers will be different. It will be independent to the object. And the student name, for example, I'm taking the class student. The student name is independent to the student. The student marks are independent to the student. So the student object will be having its own values. Such kind of variables are called as object variables or the instance variables. The object variable is not shared among the objects. As I told you, the marks of the student will not be one student marks, you cannot assign it to the other student. So they are independent to the objects, and a change made to the object variable by one object will not reflect in the other object. They are not shared, they are independent to the object. That's the reason they cannot if you are making in one student marks changes, it will not affect the other student marks. If a class has n number of objects, there will be n number of separate copies of the object variable. And that's what we are talking about, right? If a class has, for example, take a example of the student. There will be, if there are n students, okay, so if a class has, here say example of a student class, if a student class has n number of students, meaning that objects, there will be n number of separate copies of object variables. Each and every student will be having his or her name, and also the student roll number and the student marks. It will be independent of separate copies, right, for each and every student. So that's what is the third point here. And next is, if a class has one class variable, all objects of the class will share the class variable. Like the name of the college, it is shared across all the objects. Since there exists a single copy of class variable, any change made to the class variable by any object will be reflected in the other objects. Say one object is making a change from SVECW, somebody is making a change to width. So what happens is that change, that modification will be visible to all the objects. These are very important Viva questions and also the interview questions asking you to distinguish between the class variables and the instance variables. So summarized, class variables are the variables which are common across all the objects, and any modifications done to the class variables will be visible to the other objects. Any one object making modification to the class variable, that will reflect in the whenever the other objects try to access the class variable, that change will be visible to the other object. Now coming to the instance variables are owned by the objects, like the object's own copy, and if any modification is done, it is done only to those variables. It will not reflect the other variables. So this is the difference between the class variables and the instance variables. The see that where 20 is the class variable. So this is the position where you will be declaring your class variables. So whatever you declare here, 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6 variables, whatever you need, you will be declaring here only. The position inside the class where you will be declaring your class variables is this position. Okay, you will be putting it in this particular position. And those are class variables. And class variables do not require a self prefix before it. This is another difference between the instance variables and the class variables. They do not want to refer to the class variables. You do not require a self. Okay, you can either access the class variables using the name of the class. So here the name of the class is A. You can say A dot where, or else you can also say obj dot where. Anything is valid in Python. Okay, so you can say obj dot where, or else you can also say A dot where. Both are valid. Okay, but for the instance variables, you have only one way to access the instance variables, which is only through self. Okay, so this is another difference between the class variables and the instance variables. Very well over here, so you can just see here, here v is considered to be the instance variable. Okay, because I didn't declare it after your class, I have v is considered to be the instance variable. And when I say self dot v is equal to v, then only I am creating an instance variable, wherein I showed you the difference between these two in the previous class. Okay. Next one is how do you access the members of the class, both the variables and also the methods. You will be accessing them by using the dot operator. Okay, so here you will be using the dot operator. So what will be before the dot operator? Before the dot operator, you will be having the object reference. So here the object reference is obj, so I'll be having obj over here, and then dot, then followed by the member, whatever member you want. It can be a variable, it can be a method, anything. The instance variable, see, I have put obj dot v. Obj here is an object, and there is a dot operator here, and then v is the member of instance member of the class. So I am accessing it like this. I cannot simply say print v. If I simply say v, it will not be knowing it unless until there is a global variable v. If there is a global variable v, then it will print that value, because there is no other v over here except the v inside this class. It will say that I don't know this v. To access this v, I have to use this convention, wherein I'll be saying obj dot, and only I have to access it. I will do an example here. This is an example wherein I have created a class A. The name of the class is A, and then you can see that I have created one class variable. The name of the class variable, I have put it as class underscore var, for because I want you to understand that it is a class variable. I made it 0. Okay, fine. So this is the init method. Init method is the initialization method. Remember, init method is not used to create the objects. Generally here is, see, init method is taking self, meaning that object is already created. So you can just understand it in that way. The init short term for initialization. I am saying a dot class variable is equal to a dot class variable plus 1. I'm incrementing the class variable. See here, I'm using the convention of a dot. I just told you 2 minutes back, how can you access the class variables? I said like you can access the class variable either by using the class name, or you can also access it by using the object reference. Here inside the init method, I have to say a dot. I have to refer it by the class name. I said a dot class variable is equal to a dot class variable plus 1. This also helps you to resolve with the name conflict, because for example, if you are importing something else from some other modules, say that there in that module also you're having a variable which is class variable, then this convention of naming, calling the variable with the class name will help to resolve in the name conflict also. So even if you need it or not, for example, in this init, you generally do not require a dot, but make it a practice to use this a dot inside the class also. Make it a practice, because this will help you to resolve with the name conflict. Say another variable is there with class underscore var, I can declare, because this is similar to this is a valid identifier. I can have a global variable. Say that even inside this program, I can have a variable which is called in outside this class. For example, before this class, I can have a variable which is class underscore var. It's absolutely valid because it's a valid identifier. I can have it. Now to resolve, so there is a name conflict now. Which class underscore where you are referring to? You are referring to the some variable which is inside the class, or you are referring to the variable which is outside the class. For uh, for fixing such kind of name conflicts, it is better you always associate the class variable with the class name. So this is a very chance variable. See here, as soon as I say obj1, I have created three objects over here. Obj1 is the first object, and obj2 is another object, and obj3 is another object. Then I said a, and then I'm passing the values over here. So as soon as I say a20, even if I don't make a call to the init method, automatically the init method will be called. Automatically the init method will be called. So the control now goes to the init method. So here, wherein this self will be having obj1 and this v will be having 20. Okay. So it is called on this object obj1. Now inside this, what we are doing, we say a dot var is equal to, we are incrementing it. So say that this is the class variable, and so now what happened, the value of class variable became 1. And then I said self dot v is equal to v. What happened is 1, the value of v will be 20. Okay, fine. Value of v, so 20 will be printed, and then I said the class value is, I'm printing this class variable. So let us just look at the output. These first two statements, output statements, are for object obj1. Another object over here, obj2 is equal to, so I said a45. So what happens now, the self will take this obj2 reference and v will take 45, and this self dot v will be for this obj2, which will be 45. So you can see that the class variable, the object variable is 45 and the class variable is 2. You can make an observation that the class variable is visible to all the objects, and also the class variable modification is also visible to all the objects. Then I said obj3 is equal to a13. So this self will be taking obj3 and v will be taking 13. Now when I try to print the v value, it will be 13, and I'm incrementing the class variable which is 3. By looking here, what is the purpose of giving the class variable? Here the purpose of giving the class variable is to know how many objects are being created. If you want to know how many objects are created for this class, you can simply use this particular statement, wherein I'll be getting the count of the objects that are created. So you can see that class variable is 3, which means that 3 objects are created. You can use it for whatever you want, depending on your application. You can have how many ever class variables you want, and you can use them as ever you want according to your logic. Is this program usually used to keep count of the number of objects created? Another use is to define constants associated with a particular class, or to provide default attribute values. This means that the second point means that to define constants. Like I said, the name of the college. The name of the college is constant. It is same across all the objects. Such kind of for these two purposes, generally we'll be creating the class variables. The first purpose is another program. This is a program wherein I have given a class. The name of the class is even odd. So you can see that the convention that I have used here is the first letter of the class is capital letter, and this is what is called as camel case. And then I have a class variable which is even is equal to 0. And I said, and I'm making it as a default value. Then I said def find. So there are two methods over here. The first method is def find and the second method is def check. Now let me tell you, these two methods are considered to be the instance methods. Inside the methods itself, then you call it as an instance method. So these two are the instance methods. And then I have num inside this find, and then I have num also inside this check. Now let us start looking how this works. I have created an object obj is equal to, so I called this even and odd. So with this statement, what happened is I have created an object obj and there is no initialization, so I didn't give any init method inside this class. Why I didn't give init method? Because I'm not initializing anything. I'm not initializing anything. I said n is equal to, I'm reading in a value, an integer value, by probing the user to enter n. N is an integer, so I want the user to enter an integer value and I'm asking user to enter n. So now n is having an integer. Now I'm calling this check method. You can see that since they are instance methods, I have to call it only by the object reference. So I'm saying obj.check. If I simply say check, then it will give me an error. If I simply say check, it will give me an error. I already told you the members of the class, like say the variables of the class or the methods of the class, both need to be accessed only by the object reference. If I want to access the variables, I have to say obj dot or the object reference dot. So I have to use this dot operator to access the methods or to access the variables of the class. So this is what I have to do. I cannot simply say check. If I simply say check and I have a method outside this class which is check, then that check will be called. That's the difference between the methods and the functions, which I already have discussed. So understand it very carefully. To call the methods inside the class only, I'll be using this convention obj.check. Now what happens inside this check, I have passed n. You can also observe that in this is the function call, right? So I said obj.check n, this is the function call. Inside the function call, I didn't give any value for self. Self is automatically passed by, internally passed, automatically passed by your Python. So you needn't explicitly mention what is self. Self is nothing but this obj. Okay, so that it will automatically send the value for the self, and you just need to give the values for the other parameters which are there in the check. So there is another parameter over here, formal argument here, which is num. So I need to just pass for that. One argument is here. It is okay that I just pass for the one argument. So n is passed here. Say for example, the user have given 6 for n and 6 is passed over here. So the num is taking 6 over here. Now what I said, I am calling the find method. How I am calling the find method? I am calling the find method from inside this check method by saying self dot find. What is self? Self is nothing but obj. So this is an instance method and I have to call the instance method only through the object reference. So I am saying self dot find. What is there in self? Self is having obj. So obj dot find. It means that obj dot find and I am passing 6 over here. Now the control goes to the find method here. So what is there in the self? Self will be having obj and num here will be having 6 in it. Now I am checking inside this find method. I am checking whether 6 mod 2 is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, this if condition is evaluating to be true. Then I said self dot even is equal to 1. I said self dot even is equal to 1. Now what happened? The control comes back. Okay, this returns, right? So this function I am returning from this find. After returning from find, what happens is I am checking with the global variable, with the class variable. This even is the class variable, and any modifications done to the class variable is visible to everything, every object. Now I am checking self dot even is equal to 1. If self dot even is equal to 1, then I say num is even. So you can see that 6 is even is printed here. Are you understanding the flow of execution, how I'm explaining? Now say for example, I'm giving another value here for the odd one. Say I have, say for example, I have given 7 over here for n. I said 7. Now for check 7 is passed. So what happens? The function check is called here with num having the value of 7 and obj having the value of obj. Again inside this check function, I'm calling the function. I'm calling the method find with the self being obj and num being 7. Now I'm checking if num mod 2, 7 mod 2 is equal to 0. So it is not equal to 0. So this even will be 0 only. I'm not making any modifications. I'm using it as a flag, right? So I'm just using it as a flag. Flag means that some representation, either 1 or 0. If it is 1, I'm saying it is even. If it is 0, I'm saying it is odd. So I'm just keeping it as it is. I don't require to make it as 0 because it is already 0. I don't require to make any modification. If I want, I can also add that part here. Else I can say self dot even is equal to 0. But that do not make any sense. It increases the lines, number of lines. So this is what you need to think of, like how you need to optimize or the reduce the number of lines of your program. So 0 is kept as it is. And now I'm checking if self dot even is equal to 1. It is not equal to 1. So I'm just saying that the numbers odd. So 7 is odd will be printed on the screen. Is this program understood by everyone? Another program wherein I'm discussing the name class. So here I said I have class A. Inside class A, I have x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. Then this is an instance method which is fun and which is having self. Don't forget to put this self. If you're not putting some IDEs actually like PyCharm and all will add self automatically. As soon as you say def fun and something, you just start writing your methods, it will automatically give you this self. Generally, what I advise my students is not to use the IDEs straight away, because what happens is IDEs are the pre-formatted environments which will actually prompt you for the next thing that you need to do in your programs, which will actually make your slow learning slow, because it is already giving you this self and all that. My advice is to use some notepads and notepad plus plus where nothing will be prompted to you. You yourself have to figure out you yourself, because in IDEs what happens is this indentation is also automatically given. As soon as you say class A and press on enter, it will give the indentation and stop. So from there itself you'll start typing your program. So indentations are already given by your IDEs, and also the keywords are already checked. And for example, if I'm writing this method, self is automatically added to your program. So IDs are more sophisticated, wherein IDs are generally used by programmers who are advanced programmers. Why I'm telling you that is because you are in the beginning stage, you are novices. It is important that you learn the syntax very much. See, programming language is a learned skill. It is not a birth skill. It is not like by born acquired skill. It is a learned skill. You have to practice it again and again to gain knowledge in programming. If you're not practicing, you won't get it. It is just a simple equation. And programming is many students come to me and ask like, how can I become a programmer? You to become a programmer, the first step is like you need to understand the semantics, the meaning, how to write, and also the syntaxes of the programs, and how to construct your statements one after the other, the logic construction. Once you are aware of these three things, then you can consider yourself to be the programmer. So I prefer like using notepads initially. I generally advise my students to use notepads other than the IDEs, because that will actually help your learning fast. And you will be understanding that minute things and things which are important, you will also learn them. So here this self, do not forget to give inside the method, and then I. This is taking one variable I. Then what I did, so this is L, I suppose. Okay, fine. So I said self dot y is equal to, then I said L. Then we are saying y is equal to 7. Then I said y is equal to y plus 1. Then I'm printing y, and I'm printing self dot y, and also I'm printing a dot y. So here there are three different things over here. Then I created an object O is equal to A. Then I said I called fun for this 100. Okay, so I called this for 100. Now see the first statement. I said y. Okay, so when I printed y, what happened is it is considering the local. When I simply say y, it means that it is a local variable. So I said y is equal to 7, and I said y is equal to y plus 1. And when I print y, it is printing 8 over here. In the next case, I am saying self dot this. So this is an instance variable. So when I print it, what it is printing 100 because I have passed 100 over here. This 100 is going into this particular I, and this I is assigned to the self dot y. So this self dot y over here is the instance variable. So you can see 100 over here. Now in the next case, I am saying a dot y. A dot y is this y, which is a class variable. So the class variable value is 1. Is this understood? It is very, very important that you understand these differences. I'm having 3 variables with the same name, but declared and defined in 3 different locations. This y is the place of declaring this variable is inside the class. So this became the class variable, and I can access this variable by using the class name only. So I can say a dot y. Now in the previous example, I told that a class variable can be accessed with the class name, or else it can also be accessed with the object reference. Meaning that I can also say o dot y and all that. But here what happens is that because I have 2 variables with the same name, one is the class variable and I have the same variable y for the instance variable also. So here if I use the object reference to access y, then the object value only I'll be getting in the output. So here to get the value of the class variable, I definitely have to use the class variable reference. Is this understood to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So herein I am saying o dot y. When I say o dot y, what will happen? This is the object reference and then the variable. So outside this particular class, if I want to access, I'll be giving the object reference. So I'll say o dot y. O dot y is nothing but the instance variable 100 will be printed. Then I'm saying a dot y. A dot y will print this one over here, and I'm saying o dot x. So o dot x is nothing but this class variable. Since there is no instance variable with x, even if I have referred it with the object reference the correct value. Did you understand this program, or you want me to repeat it again? So this is very important for you to understand.
Ma'am, once again repeat, ma'am.
Once again, yes, definitely I'll do that. So variables, right? So what are these two?
Yes, ma'am.
Class
Variables.
Y equal to 7.
No.
I, ma'am.
Y is equal to 7 is not an instance variable. That's what I'm telling you. This y is equal to 7. Did it have a self before it?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So this is a local variable. So this is a local variable now. Y is equal to 7 is a local variable. Okay. Y self dot y here is the instance variable. So x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. These two are the class variables. Self dot y is the instance variable, y is equal to 7, or y here is the local variable. Is this clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let me tell you what is meant by a name class. Now I have an instance variable y and also I have a class variable y. So there are 2 variables over here, right? I have one variable with the same name, which is a class variable, and I have the same name for the instance variable also. How can I access a class variable? What are the different ways to access a class variable?
Class
Accessing the class name. Class
There
A
are 2
dot.
ways. Okay, so there are 2 ways to access. What are the 2 ways? How can
Class name, object
By class
reference.
name and object reference.
How can I access this y? This y, this class variable y. How can I access that class variable y?
A dot Y.
A dot Y.
Object dot Y.
One way is I can say a dot y. Another way is I can say refer the object reference. The object name is O over here. So I can say O dot Y, right?
Yes,
These are
ma'am.
the two ways I can use to access this class variable. Now coming to the instance variable. So this Y over here is the instance variable. Say that this Y over here, how many ways are there to access the instance variables?
One way, ma'am.
Only one way. What is that way?
With object
Self
reference.
dot,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So I can say O dot Y. Only one way I can access this
One, ma'am.
So these two accessings will give me a value of 1, right? Either I say A dot Y or O dot Y, I'll be getting a 1, right? Now
Yes,
for
ma'am.
this instance variable, instance variable, since I have passed 100, so what will be the value I get? I'll be getting 100, right? For this instance variable, the value will be 100. Okay. Now say that I want, so whenever I'm using this O dot Y, it will give preference only to the instance variable because there is a name clash. If I say Y, I can also access the class variables as O dot Y and also the instance variables as O dot Y. Now what happens is whenever I use in my program O dot Y, it will give preference to the instance variable only if there is a name clash. So whenever I refer to O dot Y, what will happen is 100 only will be printed. But say I want this class variable value. So in this case of name clash, to refer to this class variable, I have to say A dot Y. Other than that, there is no other way because there is a name clash. Now coming to the variable X. X is, there is only one variable X and there are no instance variables with the name X. So there is no name clash. So in this case, when I say O dot X, this class variable only will be referred. So it will check whether there are any instance variables. There are no instance variables with the name X. So it will look for whether there are any class variables. Yes, there is a class variable X. So it will print O dot X will be print. The class variable value will be printed. Is this clear now to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Ma'am,
Now,
ma'am, y is equal to 7 mainly అదే యాక్సెస్ చేయాలి మ్యామ్.
యాక్సెస్ అవ్వదండి. స్కోప్ గుర్తుందిగా మీకు. You know the scope function, they are local. There is no other way to access this y outside this function. Even in the same class, if you're having another function also, you cannot access this y. This y is only within this particular function. There is no other way. The program of the class is number. So I'm having two lists over here, which are the class variables. I have an even list and then I have odd list. Now what is a list? List is a mutable type. So here I'm taking the mutable types inside my class. Then I have the init. I have the init method. Init method is taking the object reference and also the num. So I said self.num is equal to num. So this is an instance variable. Num mod 2 is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, now what I'm doing is I'm saying number. Number is the name of the class. How do you access the class variables? You access the class variables through the class name. So here the class name is number. So I said number. Dot, this is the name of the class variable, which is events. Then I am using this append method. So this is because it's a list. So I'm using the append method of the list class. Okay. So then I'm saying, and I'm passing num. So what happens? This number, whatever I have passed, will go into the separate. If it is an even, it goes into the even list. If it is odd, it goes into the odd list. That's actually the essence of this program. Now say I have created an object which is O1. So I have created 4 objects over here. So the first object wherein I'm passing 2. So num will take 2 here. So self.num will be equal to 2. So then I'm saying 2 mod 2. Okay, so which is an even number. So it enters into the even list and appends into the even list. Then I have given 4. 4 also will append in the even list because this condition is becoming true. And in the next case, I'm giving an odd number. So it enters into the odd list and appends. And this again enters in the odd list. When I print this even and odd, I'll be getting the list like this 2, 4, and 5 and 9. So you can also use your lists as your class variables. Is this program understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Okay, so let us move on to concepts of the class, which is the del method. So we already have seen the concept of init method, wherein init method also precedes and succeeds with a double underscore. In Python, the methods or the variables which will be having two underscores prefixed and two underscores at the end, they're considered to be the special methods. I mean, tomorrow when you generally avoid writing methods with dunder, okay, two underscores in the beginning and two underscores at the end, because they have got a special meaning inside your Python. But it is valid only if you write with two underscores in the beginning and two underscores at the end, and no method clashes with your method, your application will work fine. But say for example, in future, if they have added something into the Python library, wherein they have put two, generally they add like this. What they do is they add two underscores and two underscores in the beginning and two underscores at the end, and they create methods and they add it. Why they have started the convention is because nobody will start with two underscores and two underscores at the end. So Python people, okay, if they want to add something into this libraries, they adopted such kind of convention. So it is for the internal use. So being programmers, you avoid such kind of convention, having two underscores in the beginning and two underscores at the end. Do not create methods in such manner. Even if you create, it is valid, but do not create. So I hope those class, I'll continue. This is a fresh topic. So anyway, time is also up. So I'll continue this topic in the next class. So quickly give me